What's going on, YouTube? We got another episode today of the Dunces podcast. Isandro and a whole soup. Okay, all
I
right.
did not feel like getting changed. So here
I
we are.
respect it. I respect it. And we got Jordan. What's good, Jordan? Thank you. By the way, guys, if you guys didn't know, Jordan's got his own YouTube channel. Link will be down in the description below. It's a vibe. Just saying, the grind. How you feeling, by
About
the
the
way?
journey. It's about the journey.
Yeah, how you feeling? How's your
It's not
knee?
about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep on moving forward. That's all I gotta say. You gotta watch the rest of the video.
It's not about whether you fall down. It's about whether you pick yourself back up.
Yeah. The video has fresh, has Isandro's haircut and his suit right now. That's all I gotta say.
I did get a haircut. It's not fresh, but I did get
I
it. So I
noticed it, bro.
appreciate
I
you
noticed it. I
acknowledging
got
me.
you, bro. I noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good, bro. You look good. But
Thank you.
anyway, enough hyping each other up. So today, guys, we're gonna talk about just how the NBA is going with COVID protocols. Just a disclaimer. You know, stay safe out there for anybody who's watching, and then you guys as well. Obviously, stay safe because COVID ain't no joke. But obviously, the NBA is seeing that too, right? They've been postponing games since the season has started back in December 22nd. There's been one, two, three, four, five, 6 games postponed, two of which were just today. So, um, what do you guys feel about that? Like all these postponing of the games. Like we see, like sometimes rosters are depleted because it's 8 guys out, and they're only playing with about 7 who are actually on the roster, and then 2 G League guys. So how do you guys feel the NBA is handling the situation so far? Who Anybody can start on this one. I
I
don't have
kind of want to point out what you were talking about. The Heat. It was a close game, but they still lost to the 76ers. And they had like what, 8 players, 7 players. So
Yeah.
it is affecting the teams. I mean, it's like giving them a disadvantage. It's giving other teams an advantage. That's kind of like one way of looking at it.
Yeah, because the Sixers at one point were doing they were doing really, really well. And then when Seth Curry was, diagnosed with COVID, it a lot,
Mid
and then
game.
another, mid game against my Nets, and then another member of their staff was also diagnosed. Um, After that, they lost about, I think it was 2 games or 3 games or something like that. And then they had a monster performance by Joel Embiid, who, by the way, if you guys want to talk about it later, we can. Embiid making a case for MVP, but we'll talk about that
I mean, their
another day or
MVP
later.
numbers are good enough, right?
MVP numbers, yeah, but like he's making a solidified case, right? But just in general, right? Like it's you're right in a sense that it's depleting rosters, and the games aren't even, they're not as fun anymore. Like some random kid from Philly named Matthias, like anybody know him? Like no one wants to care. No one cares if he's scoring. Like everybody wants to see Ben Simmons. Everybody wants to see Danny Green and Shake Milton and all these cats, but they're not there because of all this, because of the COVID protocols. What do you think, Jordan? What do you think the NBA? Like, how have they handled the situation? Go on mute.
I
Yeah.
mean, up until now, I mean, we gotta give props to the NBA because they Adam Silver, I would say behind soccer, they have been the best sports organization to handle the situation. And I think it's just now players have a little more freedom because it's not the bubble where they're going to be enclosed in their own space. They play games and they go home, and then
Yeah.
who knows because they're not restricted to going out. There's nobody supervising them. So it's a lot easier for people to get contaminated. So I think it's just right now it's gonna get way more tough, especially with all these cases. And the policy that players can't fist bump, I think now they just made it okay. Fist bump and high five. It's dumb to me because you're playing 5-on-5 basketball, sweating, physical defense.
Physical content.
How are you not gonna get the virus? So oh yeah, play just almost kiss each other while posting up, but don't high five after the game. That's gonna protect.
It's
I don't get that logic or that aspect. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I want to say some other points, but we'll get to it later with Aaron Gordon and Virgil.
and
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good point. If you look at soccer, they were doing they were doing so good to the point where they were actually letting people back into the stadiums. They're actually having an audience. And
Yeah.
then the new strain of COVID came out in the UK, and then that just put everything, just kind of threw a spanner into the works.
Yeah, so with the newest memo that came out, this came out just a few weeks ago. No, not even. I think it was like yesterday that these new
The new
protocols
NBA
came out.
protocols.
Yeah, so they were saying stuff like, activities outside the team environment for at least the next 2 weeks, players and team staff are required to remain at their residence at all times except to attend team related activities at the team facility or arena. So technically, yes, they are supposed to be quarantining. They're supposed to be staying at their house and then from their house drive to the arena or drive to the team bus. But it's like you can't control that. As much as you might want to, it's tough, it's difficult. And just because, okay, just because you are quarantining doesn't mean that you don't have essentials. I mean, I get it. These guys have money, so they have other people buying stuff for them. But even then, they're human. So sometimes they need to go out and purchase some things that they just don't have at their homes. So what if a player, let's say a player on the Nets roster, right? Since they're in New York, and New York is always there's always something going on in New York. Let's say a Nets player goes out, buys some important things for his house, comes back, finds out that an employee at that establishment had COVID. So what's the procedure then? Like what will the NBA say about that? Like there's just so many what ifs, and it's not the NBA's fault, and it's not the players' fault either. It's just that we're in a worldwide pandemic that no one can control. Not the smartest doctors in the world don't even know what to do with it. And we're just getting this vaccine, not everybody's even getting tested and stuff. So it's or I'm sorry, getting the vaccine. So there's so much to take into account. And then just in general, like certain players are just not happy with these new rules. Like Jordan mentioned it, the fist bumps and stuff. Guys are literally sweating on each other. And I remember I was watching the Jump, I think, when the whole Seth Curry thing happened, where he got COVID in mid game. Apparently she was like, oh, according to the health and safety protocols, if you're in contact with somebody who has COVID, who has been positive for COVID for 15 minutes or more, then you have to quarantine for at least 7 days. That to me sounds so stupid because it makes sense in the sense of like, okay, if let's say us three are hanging out, right? And God forbid, one of us do end up having COVID and we're all together for longer than 15 minutes. Okay, yes, then I get we all have to quarantine. But in the NBA, these guys are playing on each other, defense, rebounding, pushing each other around. And you mean to tell me that only amounts to about 10 minutes of one player contacting on another? That to me sounds just really stupid and really ignorant. So I think I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like
I
that
don't
whole
get
little
that either
15
though.
minutes.
Does it take 15, 10 minutes to get COVID if you're consistently next to somebody? Like, let's say I have COVID and you're next to me for 5 minutes, right? Does that mean because it's not 10 or 15 minutes, you're good? You don't have COVID? How
Right?
does that work?
Exactly. And that's my point, I guess, that I'm trying to make is that since this is something that we don't know, something that not everybody knows. You could say, yeah, sure, 15 minutes, okay. But if I'm stuck in a small space with one person, let's say in a car or something, or I'm sitting next to them on the team bus, and that person has COVID, but I mean, you're being exposed to it. I mean, you're being exposed to it regardless, but now you're next to somebody who has it, even if you didn't know that they had it. So it's just so weird. I don't know. I don't know what the NBA can do because again, this is just so brand new. We've never gone through this. But what do you think, Jordan, about like what they can do? I guess to try to prevent it or whatever they've been doing.
I mean, NBA has been doing a great job as of now. I think it's more accountability on actual players. Players have to be responsible. I mean, players aren't going to be comfortable with not being able to go out. But we live in time and day that we can't do what we want. We can't do the things that we used to do. We can't go out to the park and you know play with other people like we used to. We can't go shopping or whatever without taking the precautions that we need to take. And I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. Players feel so entrapped in their homes, and it's like Damian Lillard said too. He lives on his phone. He lives on his phone pretty much. He practices and he's on his phone pretty much the rest of the day. I mean, but that's how it is. It's not just for him. It's for everybody. It's for you. It's for me. It's for Isandro.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just learning how to accept with it and obey. Because I mean, we listen. Everybody has their jobs. They take the precautionary measures that they have to take. So it's not, it's a great point that Stephen A. Smith did. That's their job. So they have to take the precautions that they need to take.
Yeah. Isandro, go ahead.
And it's interesting. It's mainly for the most part, it's mainly Americans who have the problem with, oh, my freedoms are being limited, this, and that. Meanwhile, everybody else, everywhere else in the world, they're really trying to cooperate and just try to, do their best. But we are entitled. We have the problem with wearing the masks, not going to parties and not wearing a mask at parties, like certain players on certain teams are doing. Right? It's
Yeah.
very interesting how that works.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really shows us like, where we're at and stuff. But just a quick point on NBA players, like certain NBA players, because Jordan mentioned it before with George Hill. His exact quote was, and this is after the Thunder lost to the Spurs. So he says, "I'm a grown man." This is after he read the protocols, the newest ones, the updated one. It says, "I'm a grown man, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. If I want to go see my family, I'm going to go see my family. They can't tell me I have to stay in the room 24/7. If it's that serious, and this is key, then maybe we shouldn't be playing. It's life. No one's going to be able to just cancel their whole life for this game." So no one is questioning the love that George Hill has towards basketball, because we all know in order to get to where he is now, in order to get to to any sports really, or just anywhere in life, if you don't love what you do, then it's tough to get there, right? So we're not questioning his love for the game. His point, at least to what I'm getting out of it, right? And then I'm gonna ask you guys what you guys think about it too. But his point is really that he has a family, he has parents or cousins, aunts, uncles, stuff like that, and that he wants to see people that are according to him, I'm assuming, are taking their precautions, wearing their masks, sanitizing as much as they can. To that point, okay, I get it. You want to see them, and you're allowed to, as a grown man, as just a person in general, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You're right, but at the same time, you're in a league where you're getting paid millions of dollars. You really can't sacrifice just some things that everybody is sacrificing. Like, what makes you better than? I mean, obviously, you're he's better than me in basketball. That doesn't mean that he's better than me as a man. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying me and myself, but I'm saying, in general, what makes him better than any one of us, right? And that's no shade to George Hill, because what he does have a point, and it's right there. If it's that serious, then maybe we shouldn't be playing. That's true. If COVID, I mean, not if, because we know COVID is bad. We've seen it in so many cases, people dying, left and right because of this virus. So if it's like that, you're right. They probably should cancel it. But the NBA has implemented this for A, to get you paid, and B, for our entertainment during times where going out is tough and basketball is the only thing that we've got. So that's just, I got it. I'm a little up and down with it, because I don't like everything that he said, but I get what he's saying. You know what I mean? But I want to hear you guys' take on it. And if you guys want to read it, it's on Oklahoma Oklahoman.com. It's right there. There's an article about it. It says it there exactly what he said. But yeah, if anybody wants to go and talk about what he said specifically, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I mean that line where he says, should he like contemplates and he questions whether we should be playing. What do you guys think of that line that when he said that? Should they be playing? Should there have been something done?
Technically, no, but I mean, listen,
Yeah,
it's for the fans, literally for the fans.
and
Even
money.
though there's no fans, I mean, shoot the money. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it at the end of the day. And I mean, some players are fine with it, some players are not, and you know, and I understand where George Hill is coming from, because in the NBA you don't have the luxury that everybody else has. We, like myself, I get quarantined, but at the same time I'm with my family. George Hill, he has to quarantine, but he can't be with his family. Maybe his wife or girlfriend, whatever. Maybe kids. He has kids. I don't know. But he can't have that luxury to go see his family consistently on a daily basis. Um, Myself, like I can go see my family because I know they've been quarantining. But for safety protocols in the NBA, you don't have that luxury. So I think that's definitely tough for him because you have to think about that. And should we be playing? Probably not. We're in the second phase of the virus. Uh, Things are getting worse.
There's
Cases are rising. Deaths are rising. So that question has to come up. And with all the games getting postponed, you got to think. And I think the NBA's handling it pretty good for now because the cases haven't spiked in a crazy way. They haven't spiked tremendously, which is
Yeah.
good. Um, and I think what they're thinking of a 7 to 14 day quarantine or just pause in the NBA in general, which is not a bad idea. But will that? Because sometimes you can have the virus up to 3 months. So how is that?
Yeah.
Um, will that affect the players? Like, what if a player like LeBron gets the virus and gets it for 3 months? That's definitely gonna play a toll in the NBA because we watch it for the big stars, LeBron, Giannis. So then just little stuff like that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, and it's players' livelihoods, right? Because let's say they do quarantine with their family. Now they're putting their own family at risk. A perfect example was Avery Bradley. When Avery Bradley didn't want to go into the bubble, he said it was because his son has a condition, right? So when he didn't go into the bubble, he did that so that he can protect his son. And then just a few days ago with Miami, Avery Bradley had to sit out because of health and safety protocols. So a player like that is going to be thinking, okay, what's more important? Playing a game where I'm making millions or protecting my family? Like it's so weird, thinking about it as a player. None of us have ever gone through it because we'll never probably get amount to that level. But just thinking about how it would affect our own family. Uh, To that point, again, that's why I understand what George Hill is saying. But should the league be canceled? Technically, yeah. I mean, look, if they canceled it last season, right, because of one player getting it, when Rudy Gobert officially got it, it was canceled. But from that time to now, there's still a lot more things that we don't know about the virus. So, and there's probably even less things we know because of this new strain coming from Britain. So it's just so much uncertainty, and now the NBA is put in a position where everybody is looking at them because the NBA they did such a great job in the bubble, and I'm not saying they're not doing a good job now. It's just there's so much that they don't know or we don't know that what else are they supposed to do? Go ahead, Isandro.
Yeah, this feels like the season for not just the NBA, for all of the top five sports where they're trying to get everything back on track, right? Last season they lost a lot of ground, a lot of time. Shortened NBA season, but they still want to finish around the same time a regular NBA season would finish, get the playoffs underway. However, I feel like this is not the season for that.
Yeah,
Things are worse than when they were in the beginning when you guys actually did stop everything. That kind of season needs to happen when things are slowing down. People have been vaccinated. The rates are going a lot are just a lot lower, and then you can try to get things back on track. But you're trying to rekindle, find that sense of normalcy that it's just not there, and it's just
yeah,
not possible to try to get that in this time period that we're in right now.
yeah, and a lot of players have mentioned stuff about or even former players or just media in general have been saying push for a bubble situation. I mean, the bubble worked, honestly. I mean, no one had COVID during the bubble, and everybody was taking their precautions, all the precautions necessary, and I mean, obviously they're away from their family for a while, but they looked like they had fun on the media, right? So, but it's tough because not back then and during the bubble, what was it? It was like 18 teams or 22 teams, something like that. Now it's all 30 teams that you'd have to ship out to some place wherever it is, right? And Aaron Gordon, it was a pretty funny quote. He was saying like, why don't we if we can quarantine in the Bahamas or Hawaii with our family, by all means, like we out in the bubble. Which is, it sounds pretty cool. Who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii or the Bahamas right now, especially during these times. But is so tough to go through it because the NBA had this plan, but I think just having that in mind, thinking that everything was gonna go not smoothly because they knew that they were gonna have bumpy roads, but to go a little bit better than what it's going now, to now seeing where the reality of it, it's gonna be really tough for the NBA to just stop the season now and say, okay, yeah, we're gonna start a new bubble. Like, no, there's so much more to it, and it's like, who would even be invited to the bubble? Because you can't invite all 30 teams. If you do, how are you gonna be able to invite all of the families? What what are the players gonna think? There's so much to it. So going back to the point of George Hill, um, I think he's right. Maybe the league should quit, but at the same time, that's money that they'll be losing. So that again, there's just so much uncertainty. But if I had to say, where I'm leaning more towards, is probably just to cancel the season because the health and safety of any human being is really important. And regardless of how much money you make, money doesn't won't save your life. We see it with players like Carl Anthony Towns and his family. So it's crazy, the life that we're living in right now, the world that we're living in. But at some point, somebody has to take action. So
I'd
we
probably
gotta.
postpone the season at the very least. Probably not like throw it away entirely, but postpone it and then come back when things are a little calm. Or
Yeah, yeah. There's so much that we don't know about that, right? Um, and then just another thing I want to mention. There are players that aren't really taking it as seriously. We saw, the past, few days, Kyrie, he didn't want to play, and then out of nowhere, we see him at a party. His sister's party, but he has no mask on. He's dancing. It looked like a pretty big venue. So when you have players who are, the stars of your team doing stuff like that, it it really like it looks like the NBA is doing something wrong, and when in reality they're not. You had Harden going to clubs and stuff. Lou Will back in the bubble when he went to the club, like stuff like that. It's just really putting a bad image. So what do you guys think the NBA should do with players that are openly showing off that they aren't listening to the guidelines? What do you guys think the NBA should do with those players? I guess I'll put Jordan on
let
this one
Jordan,
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, bro. Players like James Harden, Kyrie, they don't care. They make millions of dollars. They make superstar money. They get buckets. They they're players that we know we're gonna get what we're gonna get from drama and drama. So it I think they don't care.
They don't care about what
And
though? Don't care about what
they don't. I
exactly?
mean, they don't care about. They'll just more. They'll do their. They'll do what they want, whatever they want to do. If they want to go out to a strip club, get lit. James Harden gonna go to a strip club and get lit. Um, and I think NBA is gonna do the what we know, the norm. They're gonna get the fine. James Harden's gonna get that fine, and then whatever he's gonna do, he's
In
gonna
his like
quarantine. I
pocket
think that's
too.
about it. They can't really do much to that other than discipline the player. We know they're gonna get disciplined, but is the player gonna listen and learn?
That
That's
exactly
different.
right there. Yeah.
That's different. That's a whole different
I
scenario.
don't think they would. I think the best the NBA could do is just like put down the hammer, go ham, right? And then we're gonna stop seeing it. We know that these players they don't care. They're still gonna be doing it. But think about at least the bad press that the NBA is getting. The bad press that they got recently from Kyrie being seen without a mask at his sister's party, that is just ridiculous. They don't
It
want
is.
that. They want to get rid of that first, and then they're gonna worry about okay, we're gonna actually try to get these guys to stop. But first, we want these videos to stop circulating. We want to just calm that down for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's their first priority that they're gonna want to do.
Yeah, and look, at at some point these players have to realize this isn't a game, right? Like if you're gonna go out, like even if you are gonna go out, wear a mask. Like you
What's
in
the
reality,
point of
like
being maskless? What's the point?
that's it's so stupid, and they've seen it. They've seen people go through it. Again, I'm gonna go back to Cat because he's one of their peers, right? Cat lost 7 family members. Like just looking at that should probably like instill them, be like, yo, like maybe we should probably wear our mask. We and it's like, no, not that you should, you have to. Like it's a must. So just that one little thing, and then going out and posting videos of it, like that's so stupid to me, bro.
Imagine, put yourself in Carl Anthony Towns' shoes. Every single time he sees one of these idiots go out there and do their thing, and he's just thinking about his 7 family members, especially his mom, that he thinks about every time he steps onto the court. That it's just like every single time he sees that, it's just a slap in the face. Every single
Yeah.
time.
And it's a slap in the face to him. It's a slap in the face to all families who've gone through it, and it's a slap in the face to the NBA. You know, the business that is paying you millions of dollars just to follow some simple rules. Simple
Even though
rules
we
that,
already know Kyrie doesn't care at all about the NBA and its
yeah,
rules. Even if we're
yeah,
going back to
no,
Kyrie and his media, whatever he was talking about the media,
oh
right? That
man,
they're
he's an
fraud or
idiot,
whatever.
bro. Look,
I think of
Kyrie,
like think
toxic.
of like the NBA is using it doing, and actually one of the reasons they're playing basketball, and I forgot to say, is to be an example politically, but that all the political stuff going on. That's the main reason why they're playing, to promote their platform, and sponsor the Black Lives Matter. Um, and what example are they giving by not taking protocol, wearing a mask? You know, you have all these thousands and millions of people watching you. What example are you giving them? You're trying to promote your platform to set a good example, to promote whatever you're gonna promote. Yeah, you're doing this on the low. You know, we're just wear your mask, and it's something so simple, but that
I
just shows you the imperfection of people. Something so simple as wearing a mask. And I get it, you know, you're with your family and you feel a little more comfortable than out in public, but it's still you're playing against other people. The like for example, the cat situation. You know, Kyrie comes and they're going against the Timberwolves and they're going against Cat. How is Cat gonna feel?
yeah.
You know, his he's already been through enough. Now you're jeopardizing other players, not only yourself and even your family. So so just simple stuff as wearing a mask, setting a good example for others watching the NBA.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
because
lack of respect to
go
the
ahead.
NBA, but also to the players because think about the players who are actually following protocols and they're like, well, look at this guy. He's out here doing his own thing, and the league is like slapping him on the wrist barely. How do they feel
Yeah.
doing everything right? And then it's just like, you know,
It's just so stupid too, because it's like, all right, look, you could do whatever you want on your own time. Why post it? Or why have somebody else post it? Like, look, if no one saw that video, everybody would think, oh man, something's going on with Kyrie and his fam, like stuff like that. Like that's probably what people was thinking. Or he was thinking because of the whole thing that's going on with the trial that happened with I believe it was Jacob Blake. Like maybe people thought, oh, Kyrie Irving is sad about stuff like that. But no, we see him at a party just a few days after he decided not to show up to a game. Like you're making $33 million to play for a team that honestly didn't even want you. We wanted Kevin Durant. The only reason why you're here with us is because
because
Kevin
of
Durant
KD.
vouched for you. And you're out there not showing up to games because you just don't want to play. And then you go out, break protocol, don't even tell your teammates or your own coach what it is exactly that you're doing. Like at some point, look, Kyrie could be this really intelligent dude. He can have a really big heart for a lot of the communities because we've seen it. We've seen it on Instagram. We've seen a lot of the donations that he makes. A lot of the decisions that he makes. He's a great guy, but at the same time, he's an idiot. Like as a basketball professional, NBA professional player, he's not. He's an idiot because he shows lack of respect towards all the organizations, lacks of respect towards his own teammates, and the fact that he's making all this money, wanting to make all this money while not showing up to your job, because that's what it is. The NBA, sure, basketball is a game, but it's your job. You're getting paid to play a game. Just like if I decided one day not to just go to work, obviously I'm not going to get paid for that day, right? No, but this guy, he's getting paid to do absolutely nothing. And it pisses me off because, well, A, because I'm a Nets fan, but B, because in general, just a basketball player making all this money, seeing other people go through hardships, and you're out there maskless, partying, acting like the world revolves around you, and in reality, bro, no one can care less about you. Like in 10 years, everybody's gonna forget about you. So it's like, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for this guy who is an egotistical maniac, or somebody who respects other people, because that's what he should be doing. People look up to Kyrie, and at some point my man has to grow up, because in Boston everybody said, oh, you know what it is? It's because he had a bunch of young guys. Now it's not like that. He has KD, who's 32 years old. He's a veteran. Kyrie Irving is a veteran. He's a champion. He needs to prove that out here with Brooklyn, or just in general in his career. Because if not, look, Stephen A. Smith said it perfectly. If he doesn't want to play, then why do it?
Retire.
Retire. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
Easy as
Yeah,
that.
I mean, look, bro, we don't need him. Like, the NBA doesn't need Kyrie Irving like that.
I just want to say, yo, Kyrie, if you're watching this, Jason said you stupid, but I don't think you're stupid, bro. Hand me a couple million, bro. Yeah. I just want to say that real quick.
No, but like, okay, I get it, right? Because Kyrie, yo, he's a baller though. Like, if he's such a great talent that it sucks that he's making everybody go through this, right? And I don't know, man. He's just one perfect example of what not to do, I guess. And
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
mainly because of the protocols and stuff. But one of the
yeah.
good examples. Go
I
ahead,
mean,
Jordan.
and you question like, like with all those things that he's doing and the drama that he's causing, do men have menstrual cycles? And I think if Kyrie,
There should be a
let's just
scientific
talk.
study conducted on Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie an exception? So we gotta think about that. No, but
If
on a
he's done his
serious note,
myriad,
we're
bro.
we're pretty much we're what Kyrie and James Harden, players like them, all they're doing is delaying LeBron's process of becoming the GOAT, because we know he's gonna win another 3 championships. That's
At
that's
the very
something
least,
that's
one more chip. At the very least. So
no, I
Well,
think
if he does
that's
get it though,
guaranteed.
if he gets the chip, which he most likely will, unless Dallas has something to say about it. But if
Kristaps
LeBron
is
does get
back
the
too,
chip, yo, he's
right?
balling so far.
He's
Yeah,
He's
balling. He
balling
had
so
the
far.
first game back,
Players,
16
these
points.
players,
Wait, you said what?
Well, what'd you say, bro?
I don't know what you said, bro. I don't know.
what'd you
You said
say?
you
What'd you
said
say?
something
What did we
crazy.
all say, bro?
Jordan
I
or
don't even
me?
know. You sounded.
Me, I said he had first game back, he had 16 points.
Oh, okay.
Kristaps.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I don't know what Jordan was looking at then.
Oh yeah, Chris. No, I'm saying. Listen, LeBron is gonna win at least another good 3 championships. But if
Cap.
players like Kyrie are not following protocols, we're not gonna see that happen. So he's just wasting LeBron's career. That's what we're looking at now. We can care less about the Nets, about Giannis. We know that LeBron's gonna win. We know that he's going to the finals. First of all, I mean they're demolishing. They're 9-3. He just dropped a light 26. But listen, yo, Kyrie, yo, I got tampons here. Come to my house, 9107, and then we're gonna beat up the rest.
This
A
dude.
couple
But
billions.
yo,
Wait, how you
yours,
got
guys.
tampons at your house though?
He has a mom.
Oh, that's right. That's
no,
right.
no,
He has
I
a
have a
mom.
dog, bro. We have dog tampons, bro. We have dog tampons.
Oh, okay.
That too. All shapes and sizes.
That's
Y'all stupid, bro. Y'all stupid. But no, look, Jordan does have a point though. Look, LeBron, it sucks if he won't get his chip, right? Because of these players not taking this seriously. Because okay, if we're gonna be honest, I mean, obviously the Lakers are gonna win it this season, and if they don't, then
They should.
sorry,
They
bro.
should. We'll see.
Yeah.
They should though.
And if they do, LeBron is guaranteed my GOAT. But that's for
It's
another
interesting you
topic.
say that. He would only have 5 rings compared to Jordan 6, but with
Yeah,
5
but like
he
he made it what, like 11 seasons. He's been in the finals more times in his career than more times he was out of the finals. I think he has like so. Yeah, no, LeBron is great, but that's
crazy.
again that's another topic. So yeah, I just really wanted to get your thoughts on this, guys, because like I said before, and I'll keep on saying it, at every video. COVID isn't a game, so please, guys, take care of yourselves, and not just YouTube, but just everybody who's watching the videos, all of our loyal ones, all of our fellow dunces. Please, take your precautions, wear masks, sanitize, shower every time you get home. Just it might be annoying because it's almost been a whole year since we've gone through this, but at the same time, you're helping prevent the spread of it, and not only that, but you're protecting the people around you, the people that you love. And if you really love them, then you're gonna do as much as you can to try to protect them. Um, and as for the NBA, Jordan hit it on the nose. The NBA is doing as good as they can, because no one no one has ever gone through this. So the fact that they're even having these plans and stuff, it's great. It shows that, we love a great league. So, shout out the NBA, shout out Adam Silver, and
And
shout out all the
honestly, I don't
teams.
know what more can they even do, right? Like you said, like
Exactly.
it's like we're all going through this together, and it's not like they've had experience with this before. What else are they going to be able to do?
Exactly, and like we said, they're doing the best job as anyone would expect, right? Especially during circumstances like this. Um, we do have a few news that we wanted to break to y'all, but we are going to talk about it more tomorrow. We're going to talk, about some trades going on. Isandro, go ahead.
I kind of had a question. Maybe you guys can help me answer this. What are the other sports doing? Like at least the other sports like leagues that are doing it right. What are they doing compared to the NBA? Are they doing something that's different, that's a little better, or maybe they're just a little more fortunate? What do you guys think?
To be honest with you, with other leagues, I don't really know as much. I mean, I know with soccer they were doing pretty well, but because of the new spread, things have kind of shifted away from it. And with the NFL, I believe it was the Browns. I think that was an example. The Browns, they didn't even practice. Like they didn't even like they held like a video conference or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, man. I still think the NBA is the best one out there, but Jordan knows a little bit more. So Jordan,
Listen, NBA will be fine in the long run because they're taking the most precautions out of every single sports that I know. Football, they have a lot more freedom than the NBA does. I feel like they're able to go see their families a lot more. But then it comes down to personally, how much do you want to win? Do you care about winning more than going out to a party and seeing your family? So I think it just comes down to that note. And I think the NFL's also they've been doing well as far as taking care of their players and keeping the season going. They haven't really postponed the game at
true.
all. And even the best players, I think the only game was postponed was the Steelers Ravens. And we get it, Lamar Jackson and against the Steelers, that's a must watch. And he didn't even play, right? RG3 ended up playing. So they're doing great. And I think heading into the playoffs, players are going to be very serious because this is NFL championship, Super Bowl. This is and it's way more watched than basketball.
Yeah.
The
So
Super
that's
Bowl,
something.
yeah.
That's
Well, Super Bowl in general, or like let's say like the NBA.
NFL, and I mean I like basketball, but NFL in general is watched more as a whole. So
Yeah.
I think, and Roger Goodell is so. I don't like Roger Goodell. He is selfish. All he cares about is money. See, Adam Silver he's doing way more for the players, trying to keep them safe, while at the
Yeah.
same time trying to make money. Roger Goodell could care less about the person, about whoever's on
Yeah.
the field. I feel he cares more about the money. Um, so can the NFL do a lot better? Yes, they can, of course. But they've been doing fine for now. Only a couple teams have really had cases of corona, so yeah, they're doing fine. Soccer, I think it sounds. I mean, they were doing fine.
They were. I
They were
mean, they
even
had
letting.
people back in the
Yeah,
stadiums, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like
I feel like soccer never slowed down. I think it slowed down for a little period, but then it went back to normal. So I think soccer is doing great. I think they're very underrated for how they're
I think
controlling.
it's really just the nature of it because NBA, you're sweating on guys, you're bumping into each
Yeah.
other. The NFL, you're literally running into other people. Soccer, it's like everybody's
It's more
already 6 feet
majestic.
apart,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So like you
Baseball,
guys said. Yeah. Go ahead. Go
baseball.
ahead.
Wait, what about baseball, Jordan?
oh, and if baseball can finish out their season, any sports can, any sports organization can, because baseball they took the least amount of precautions. So
That was
yeah, I
crazy.
think teams will
Yeah.
be.
That that was crazy, right? Where it was like their best player on the winning team. Like he had COVID apparently, and he still played or something like that. Like it was a whole big thing, right?
Well,
So
I
yeah,
didn't
you're
know
right.
that. I didn't know that. Wait, what happened? What?
Yeah, it
Well,
was like it was like the best player on the winning team for the World Series. He ended up having COVID like mid game, and he just stayed on the
Who?
bench. I don't know his
Oh,
name.
oh, I
I
think I
don't
heard
watch
about.
baseball. I don't care
well,
about
guys, if you want
baseball.
to see, you're gonna have to watch the next episode of Dunces podcast.
Yeah,
Cliffhanger.
thanks. Thanks. No, but yeah, I was about to end it off here. Just one quick thing. So just say yes or no when I ask. Would you guys be open to a bubble for the playoffs? Three, two,
Yes,
one.
one. 100.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
With the
one
playoffs,
thousand.
definitely not regular season, like you said, is probably not possible with 30 teams and extended because the bubble was like the tail end of the season that they were finishing
Yeah,
off, and then it was mainly the playoffs. You can't
yeah.
do an entire season in the bubble.
We
Like you
literally
can't do
just
an
like
entire-
we
What?
literally just like 15 games in anyway, so it's not like anything matters right now to be honest.
Nah.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna end it off here, guys. So tomorrow I'm gonna see y'all again to talk a little bit more about big major news going around the league. Pretty excited, also kind of scared, but we'll see how it goes. But as of today, Isandro, Jordan, have a good night, guys. Thank you guys for joining. And please, everybody, like, subscribe, and hit that like button down below. Check out Jordan's channel. Jordan, you want to shout yourself out real quick, or you want me to just put the link in the description?
You can do both. I'm gonna shout myself out. Next Gen J, capital N, capital G, capital J, and that's what I do because I'm Bay. What? Yeah,
Oh, and he definitely didn't just call himself Bay. Somebody else called him Bay.
That
Yeah,
was-
that's
yeah,
legitimate. That's
yeah.
legitimate.
I'm just reading one of the comments.
He's just reading one of the many comments. So go support the boy.
Yeah.
You don't have to after that, but okay. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it. But yeah, so we're gonna let it off here. Peace out, guys.